Jamie, your question.
In regards to that, there is one more thing that will get rid of this healthcare bill, and I thank you so much, Paul Akers, for doing this with the fair tax on your website. It's a bill right now in DC. They could pass tomorrow that would get rid of the healthcare bill because they will no longer have 1040s to be filled out and penalizing us. And so I just wanted to ask Paul Akers to share why you're so willing to step forward on this legislation and put it on your website.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to surprise you a little bit on this. I'm a guy who's always looking for the best possible solution, and I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. So I like the fair tax. I think it's an excellent idea. But I'm going to tell you honestly, what I'm looking at more that I think I like better now is the flat tax. And I'll tell you why, though. You got to hear out why I think the flat tax. I know you're not liking my answer, but let me just tell you why. Because in order to get something done, you have to make it so they can't have excuses. And with the flat tax, the beauty of the system of a 15% tax on your income up to $48,000, the first $48,000 or $12,000 for every individual. So a household of 4 would be tax exempt up to $48,000, and then at that point, 15%. You fill it out on a postcard. That's the first thing. It simplifies everything. But this is the beautiful part. It runs simultaneously with the existing tax code. So all the people that say, oh, you can't dismantle it, it'd be too complicated. We just say, oh, we don't want to dismantle anything. Just leave the existing tax code in place and then let the citizens choose, free market, which one they want to do. If you want to spend 2 months filling out your taxes, you go do it the old way. If you want to take a postcard and fill out 15% of your income and send it in, go ahead and do it. The old system will wither on the vine. And that's why I like the flat tax, because it allows the existing tax code to stay in play, but who's going to do it? You'd be an idiot to do it. And that's why I think it's a great thing.
Can I address it here first? Flat tax, fair tax we got right now, it isn't going to make any difference if they don't quit their spending. They're borrowing money and spending it right now. That's why that bill that I want to introduce, Congress does not get paid unless they balance the budget. This will eliminate the borrowing, the spending, no matter what. But yes, we've got to get back to a credible type of taxation, and everybody's got skin in the game. All right,
My name is Terry, and I'd like to know who we can hammer with emails and phone calls about them trying to push Rossi in instead of you guys.
What's your question? Who did you have that question?
I'll start with that and Clint. That is such a powerful question. Every radio station, every TV station, all the emails, the letters to the editor, all of the above, non-stop bombard him, and he will get the message. I can tell you right now, he's already getting the message because he's got David Bose and he's got John Carlson, who are, his surrogates, and they want him in there, and they are running scared. They talk about it all day long, how crazy Clint and I are, but really we're brilliant, aren't we? We're innovators and we're brilliant. They are running scared. Just keep emailing non-stop. And if I could say one more thing, there's a powerful concept that I just learned recently, and it will just rivet you right now. I read in a book the other day that at the end of the national anthem, it says, land of the free, home of the brave. The two are intertwined. You can't have freedom without bravery. But here's the thing that's so incredible about it. People think to themselves, bravery is exclusive to the battlefield. It is not. Bravery is when a mother stands up against a school board against bad policy for their kids. Bravery is when a kid at school confronts a bully. Bravery is when Clint and I stand up to run for political office knowing we're going to be slaughtered. Bravery is when you have the courage to call a radio station and put away all your inhibitions and voice your opinion. That is what we need. And when we do that, when all of you in this room act with bravery towards standing up and be counted, we will take our country back and we will have freedom.
I agree with Paul. Get into the letters to the editor. Find out those senators that are standing behind Rossi. Call them up. Talk to those senators back there. Tell them we're tired of this. Stay out of our state. This is our decision. Quit pushing a candidate we do not want. Get on the emails, send it out. Every day, send out new emails. Everything you can do to get the message out there is powerful. So just make your voice heard. It's your country.
Well, we'll get you next, sir.
Oh, thank you. How do you get rid of all these czars and these appointed morons that are up there? Those are the people who are really running this country besides the crooks that are up there now. So how do you get rid of them?
By putting new people into office, sir. And that's why we're here today. You see, it's up to us. We the people. You heard it from Paul. We got to have the courage and the fortitude to take our country back. And I got into an argument with this on the David Bowes the other day with Michael Wedbed. Take our country back. We haven't lost our country. Where are they at? Well, why don't you say take our government back? For crying out loud, what's a government? A government is a country. I said, you're mincing words. It's up to us, folks. This is our country. And let me tell you right now, you want to get rid of those R's? You start putting the people in the office that don't want to be there, that have businesses, that have been part of this private sector. You know that Barack Obama's whole administration, including his czars, you know that this is the lowest amount of people that ever been part of the private sector? Do you know where it's at? 8%. The lowest prior to this was Jimmy Carter, 30%. And you wonder why the mess we're in right now. We got to be willing to sacrifice, step up, and serve. So I'm asking you, step up and serve. Run for an office, local, state, federal. Run for an office in the next election. It's our country. We got to take it back.
Great point, Clint. And so here's my plan to solve the exact problem with the czars. The only way this country is ever going to change is if we have common sense leaders like the people sitting in this room right here in front of us are in the position of power in our government. The reason why we're in the situation we are, frankly, is because you and I have abdicated our leadership role and our responsibility to our country. We are busy running our families, farming, running our businesses, and we are not involved in the governing of our country because it's chaotic. But the bottom line is, you and I owe it to our country. Our country has given us everything we have, and unless we're willing to give sacrificially and pay it forward, we will always have czars. We will always have out-of-control government. But when we, the people, common sense people like you in this room, stand up, things will change. Everywhere I speak, I say this to people. I envision myself sitting in this audience right now because, frankly, that's where I was just 6 months ago. I was just like you, thinking, man, you know, I have the capacity to lead, but that's going to be uncomfortable. That's not going to be fun. Wow, they're going to tear me apart. But you know, if somebody would have stood up 6 months ago and said, Paul, I know there are people in this audience right now that have the capacity to lead. And I want you to consider right now if you're one of those people. And I want you to do some serious soul searching. Because frankly, your country needs you, and you owe it to your country. And everywhere I go, I deliver that message that I just said. There is 3 or 4 people in this room right now that has the capacity to lead and make a difference. And I'm personally asking you to stand up. We need to take our country back. Despite what Michael Medved says, Clint and I are on the same page on that, and we will take it back when you stand up and lead. Thank you.
We've been going for almost an hour now, and we've kind of wandered away from my ground rules just a little bit. So we're going to come back to the reminder. I'd like, when you are recognized, you have the mic, give your question in 30 seconds, address it to one of the 2 candidates, and we'll give them a minute to answer, and we'll keep time. And if somebody else thinks that's a good enough question to ask the other candidate, we can do it that way. Now, we have a gentleman way in the back that's been waiting patiently.
All right, my name is John Cornett, and I'm the addressing my question to Clint. You know, we love and appreciate that you're both on the same page, that you share our passion. We appreciate your message and that you're tag teaming together. But my sons here want to know, come the primary, which box are they going to check? We're concerned that with the selection that, say, one of you may be fragmented by other votes and giving Dino Rossi perhaps the tip of the hat. That's my first question. And second, if Rossi does win this primary, will either one of you back him as a GOP candidate? Thank you.
Good question.
Well, I see the button on the one son, so I know he's voting for me. I gotta tell you folks, we're not trying to convolute this thing, believe me. All we're trying to do is make it known that we're not gonna put up with this GOP machine anymore from DC. That's what we're trying to get the message out there. Now, we both have our messages, they're very similar, but please, don't get misconstrued here. Pick a candidate, get behind it. Now, I've had a premonition earlier on in this thing, and it was not anything against Paul, but it was that Dino Rossi and myself move on to the general, and Patty Murray's out. And I think that could happen. Now that could happen because when I've been on that west side, believe me, the unemployment rate is over 20%. People are upset, they're gonna stay home. It's August 17th, it's a primary, not in September. People are gone on vacation. The people that are motivated are on Eastern Washington. This is where the rooms are full. So get everybody out to vote. Thank you.